Corporate job advancement. When the boss says we have a problem, listen carefully. Come back and cheerfully propose an action plan to handle it. You will be amazed at the result. Even if your plan did not work, it is all about your attitude, connection, and relationship. Corporate job survival. When the boss says you need to make an adjustment, agree, apologize, and do it. Go back cheerfully and confirm that the change is satisfactory. Boss will appreciate you even if no change or adjustment were needed or made all the way they wanted it. It's all about relationships. Greatness is finding ways to accept, share with, love, and even admire your enemy. Unless, of course, that enemy is the devil, then greatness becomes your fortitude and tenacity in fighting him or her all the way to destruction and annihilation. Sometimes people who fail search for reasons to convince themselves they deserved it, they had it coming, and were being punished. This causes a downward spiral. Focus instead on the lesson learned. Count your blessings and whatever assets you have, then start rebuilding slowly. You will be surprised how many problems will disappear and dissipate once you focus on the positive and stay productive. Reading is thinking with someone else's mind instead of your own. So be very selective. Read in moderation with depth and a critical mind. Success comes from the cumulative effect of a lot of small improvements that you make and validate for yourself. Eventually, you gain velocity and make even more improvements in the right direction faster and with a bigger volume, which compounds your success over time until you reach the tipping point of major success. Wealth is based on knowledge of simple mathematical insights that improve your chances and your timing. Hard work with grit and resourcefulness, networking to multiply capital and leverage effort. There's a price for everything. During a global pandemic, the price for keeping a society open is measured by their mortality rate. Working 100% from home in the past few years due to the global pandemic should have been a good exercise of self-reflection regarding your role and value in the organizations where you work. Will you emerge more organized and productive, or will you lose momentum and get disoriented? You can easily judge and predict the productivity of an individual based on their sense of urgency, sense of organization, and prioritization. Real estate deals often require tenacity to handle the mental worries, the emotional anxieties, and the physical stress. Approach them like playing a game where you have fun no matter the outcome. It increases your chances of winning because you will keep a healthy distance for creative ideas. When two people argue, they each want to be right, and in doing so, each one tries to prove the other wrong. Yet in reality, quite often, in fact, they could both be right. Think about that next time you have an argument with someone. It could help you both find the happy medium and a great deal together. Most children are driven instinctively to find how they're like each other so they can connect, play, and have fun. Some adults, however, are driven intuitively to find how different they are from each other, so they disconnect, stop playing or having fun, and they take things too seriously. The minute you take any endeavor too seriously is the minute you succumb to the physical universe, obstacles, and lose the power of energy, the joy of creativity, and the fun and great disposition of playing the game called life. A well-chosen property for someone to own and keep is one of the best solutions to eradicate poverty, along, of course, with good education and fair opportunities to contribute to society, such as through good jobs, business, or investments. Always invest in income-producing real estate assets in good locations with fixed debt. Inflation causing the devaluation of the dollar will reduce the value of your debt while increasing rental income over time with the help of the debt to be paid off a lot sooner than expected. Lazy people who seek no new knowledge and self-improvement will actually ruin you, and they will ruin themselves. They want less work and they complain about growth and have no network. Eventually, they deteriorate and offer less value as business and technology evolves. In business, when an industry changes, invest in what is not changing. In investing specifically in real estate, invest in cash flowing properties that are secured by the assets. Eventually, most businesses will fail and most real estate assets will grow in value and increase their cash flow. Do you know what causes lawsuits, divorce, and even wars? The main cause is no communication. When people cut off communication with each other, the only remedy becomes fighting. The idea of getting rich over time is to realize that each dollar is a seed. If not wasted, yet properly planted, watered, fertilized, and sheltered over time, it can grow to be a strong tree, a financial tree that will help many generations to bask in its shadow. Kids don't need a perfect mother. They need a happy, caring, and a healthy one. They don't need a perfect father either. They need a loving, ethical, competent one. And that is based on the ability to earn a decent living. And those who are single parents, gay people, or orphan also raise wonderful, successful kids by being caring and loving. There is nothing wrong with being in the real estate investment world and getting a real estate license. It may help you do your own deals and maybe receive a commission on your way in or out of those transactions. The more complex you perceive life to be, the more difficult your life will get. Simplify and you will become faster and more accurate in less time with less effort. Life is simple. Some grow up to complicate their lives to a point where the level of complexity bogs them down and causes them to procrastinate and overthink everything. Simplify so the time between your thinking and acting gets shorter and your productivity goes higher. When you want to critique someone, ask yourself, 1, is it truthful? 2, would they want to improve? 3, can I help? And 4, how can I say it in a way that is acceptable to connect with them and correct them? Otherwise, you'll have a lot of resistance from their part. If you try to motivate or empower the wrong person who does not aspire to improve, to formally learn and grow, then stop trying, because he or she will not change. Either accept them or fire them. Some people want to learn by just being there on the job, specifically will learn by default over time, which is a long way to nowhere. To get the delegated job done, first, get the right person for the right job. 2, clarify and assign. 3, motivate and enforce. 4, supervise and maintain. 5, recognize and reward. And 6, correct and discipline. No good deed goes unpunished is a complaint often made by someone who calls his or her action a good deed, which causes the receiver to think there is no need to reciprocate. If you expect an exchange of some sort, clarify it in writing early on and enforce it. And call it a business exchange. Do not call it a good deed. Lies come in 3 ways. They don't tell the truth, they say less than needed to confuse people, or number 3, they say more than is required to overwhelm them. Hence the court swearing to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Simplify to get to the truth. You will know when you find the truth because it will immediately resolve problems and will bring about the desired results. Truth is aligned with simplicity. Complicated matters contain lies. He who lies to you is trying to control you by influencing your thoughts, feelings, or actions. People buy the product of the product. They are after the effect and the end results. So sell the problem you solve, not the service or product itself, and be 100% truthful about it. That's how you build long-term profitable relationships that benefit all parties. Children's natural urge is to help their parents and others. Parents must allow the kids to participate in house chores or little tasks here and there as the kids grow up, so they can feel they're contributing to the well-being of the family and eventually of society. What do you know that what you are doing is the right thing that you should be doing? Well, The moment you take action, it starts producing the right results. If you have no formal degree or in-depth education in any field, you can actually pass a test to become an agent or a broker. You can become a stockbroker, a mortgage broker, a real estate agent, or an insurance broker, and over time, you will earn a great living in that industry. When you fail, pause and ask yourself, what is the source of my problems? And find who the source is. The answer is always you. For as long as you accept to take full responsibility, you will gain true knowledge and full control. And it's only then that things will start improving. Best work provides three things: the opportunity to produce and make profits. Number two, how to learn, grow, and have fun. And three, how to help and contribute to others and society. How do you know what's right? What's right is that which produces and provides the greatest good to the greatest number of people. Failure is the sum of small, ignored, negative steps that you should have addressed earlier. All taken in the wrong direction, eventually you build momentum and take deep dives toward disaster. Success is the sum of small, validated, positive steps taken in the right direction, because eventually you'll build momentum and make giant leaps toward greatness. Everything starts with a small step in the right direction or in the wrong direction, then another, and so on, until you rise to greatness or succumb to shame. When given the opportunity, always say the truth openly and respectfully, in a way that is acceptable to the listener and can help them improve. Sometimes a simple strategy like changing or upgrading a tenant in a commercial building that you have may make the biggest difference in the world of terms and income and the value of the commercial property. So be always alert and in tune to what to do next with each building. You create and cause all what happens to you. It sounds a bit extreme and be even crazy, but once you realize that, you recognize how much power and potential you have. People are impacted and controlled by 6 things. Number 1, government and political organizations. Number 2, religious organizations. Number 3, large corporations. Number 4, health, medical organizations. Number 5, education and school system. Number 6, the families and friends around them. Some of the best outcomes and results in the past came not from opportunities, but from challenges, obstacles, and problems that were looked upon with playfulness and creativity. It is all a series of games, so play hard, play smart, play with good teams around you. You will play to win. Real estate is a popular investment class, and even on a small scale, remains one of the most reliable ways for individuals to boost their personal wealth and create future generations of wealth. Almost every effort in life is about finding a balance between competition, cooperation, survival and prosperity, growth and contribution. In life, those who struggle most are those who are torn between living in a calm, peaceful manner or those who want to impress others. In business, those who struggle most are usually those who are torn between competing and cooperating. The ultimate structure in lawsuits is to have your equity stripped. Watch our asset protection program at kmagb.com. He who is careless about the meaningful relationships in his or her life will soon find themselves alone and unhappy. If you want to be successful in business, the most important function is to get the right customers at the most reasonable cost. The world of raising capital and earning huge returns in real estate is a lot easier than you think if you know the correct formulas. Your ability to present to investors gets better with practice, gets simpler the more you do it. There is a huge difference as a commercial tenant to have a publicly traded national company versus a mom-and-pop operation. The entire value of the building will be completely different. To be successful in business and in life, the most important thing is to understand how to deal with frustration and being overwhelmed. The keys to success in real estate is finding good deals and knowing how to act on them. Beware of those who are paid to find what you did wrong. You will never reach your potential. By definition, the more you grow, the more potential you have. I cannot be 10 times smarter than any of my opponents, but I can outwork them 10 to 100 times harder and accomplish a lot more, way faster than any of them. The size of the deal is not what's most important. What's most important is the size and reliability of the cash flow. If you made money with real estate, don't start something else and lose momentum. Continue in real estate and grow one building at a time in the same direction. People ask me how long it will take them to set up a real estate private fund. I have seen attorneys whip out a private placement memorandum in 3 days, but it all depends on how good you are at telling them what you want. That's why we created training programs to give them a turnkey operation and become a fund manager. The question regarding do I find the deal first or raise the capital first, I will tell you that raising capital first make deals come up. You can even go to banks and tell them I need to talk to your non-performing asset department, and when they see that you have money, you will see how many opportunities they'll bring to you. A week of my life is like somebody else's full year because of my students in my education company that I've had for over 20 years. And all that knowledge, all that feedback and experience helped me get better in the game of getting them to the right mindset, the right business models that will make sense in their market based on who they are. Whatever you own eventually owns you. In commercial real estate, you make money by creating a good deal and taking a property to its highest and best use. In residential real estate, you must find a good deal compared to market values and comparable sales. You cannot become very wealthy with hard money lending at over 12%. That becomes extremely difficult. In order to successfully win in real estate, you need great location, great timing, super intelligence, and relentless force. If you inherit $1 billion, what sort of real estate property would you buy? And where would you go to reduce taxes? Well, guess what? You may want to buy big assets such as a commercial property that's a hotel that is operated by a big brand like a Hilton or a Marriott. You can never fail in real estate if you know what you're doing. When you get trained, think about the execution. Applying what you learn is the key to success. Study insurance companies to learn how to measure risk, and study banks to learn how to manage and mitigate risk. The biggest mistake I see people make is that they don't know how to assess the effort associated with some endeavor. If you know your numbers, you can make money in whatever type of real estate you want. There are some people you understand best when you're in harmony with, and some when you're in conflict. When someone gets angry, lower your emotions and listen very well. More will be said about what's valuable during their anger than a dozen harmonious conversations. Some people think life should be stable. When their life isn't, they feel like victims. Life is a series of struggles, best approached as a game. You need to keep setting goals despite external challenges and internal doubt. Any bad thing that you could do but cannot undo will most certainly ruin many of the good things you've done and wish you could continue doing. Be committed, but also be flexible to explore alternatives, more beneficial opportunities for growth, contribution, or correction and retribution. The better and longer you plan for an unlikely market disaster, the more you increase your chances not only of survival, but of success and long-term longevity. The further your outlook is for what you're doing, the higher your chances of success are going to be. In your lifetime, if you are helpful and useful, you will be loved and succeed. People get paid not for time, but for the value they add, compared to others offering same value in the same marketplace. Helping a broke person is a handout. Helping a person who is trying to make it is a hand up. Helping others while helping yourself is a handshake based on a fair exchange or maybe an abundant exchange of values. There is no bigger pleasure than to knock out those who are coming in full force to attack you. This requires timing, intelligence, and relentless force. A market downturn could be the best opportunity many will ever have to invest in real estate. There is a way to drop your taxable income by finding where the government is giving the biggest tax incentives and go there to do the best possible job. Having the ability to decide is often based on your willingness to choose when you don't have all the information, cannot get any more data, or you do not even know what's right. Most people can decide in that type of atmosphere and prefer to sleep on it or just pass. No one is as smart as they think they are. 6 ways to handle a thought that bothers you about someone. 1. Ask yourself if what they told you is true. 2. What if the opposite is true? 3. What has caused them to think, feel, say, or do what they did? 4. What would be their argument? 5. Can we find a compromise and move on? 6. What are the best steps to resolve the situation? When approaching a new opportunity, usually people think in stages. 1. I want to make money. 2. I don't want to lose money. 3. Should I keep trying so I can apply what I learned and recover, or should I cut my losses and move on? Learn the facts and figures so they can guide you through it. You can become your own best advisor by creating a distance between you and the problems you're handling, and then think as if you're advising someone else you truly care for, and then follow through. Kids who grow up in an environment that is too strict or too stressful to a point of being punitive may end up feeling anxious of the very people they seek security from. This conflict often confuses their ideas about life, love, safety, and causes them trouble in their own relationships. The more open, respectful, truthful, and tactful you are, the more suspicious and confused a malicious person will be. This is because they do not even trust themselves. Humorous to observe and amusing to experience. Most people can relate to the struggle for success, but their effort is usually focused on reaching a mediocre, boring routine without any unexpected disturbing interruptions. This is unrealistic and discouraging. Any activity where agents try to impress peers, such as architects, designers, developers, etc., rather than satisfy the needs of the constituents, end up backfiring on all. What you do privately when no one is watching is the true test of who you are, and a good measure of the quality of your relationship with others, like your boss, your spouse, your partner, your friends, and so many who trust you. Decide for each relationship you have the levels of engagement needed to get the right desired results. 1. Distance, how close and involved you should be. 2. Intensity, direction, correction versus support and connection ratios. And 3. Duration, when, how often, and for how long. A true professional does the job faster, more accurately, with less resources, less fuss, and takes full responsibility for its outcome. There is no such thing as a slow professional. If you have any area in your life with problem, it is because it was based on some lie, either told to you or by you. Discover the lie and you will get closer to the solution. If you could not persuade someone to do or buy something you know for sure is 100% good for them, it is simply because you did not know how to help them overcome their own fear, doubt, confusion, or suspicion. Give them more information with better clarity and ask the right questions. Be open and respectful in your training and communication with your staff, but always be truthful. Be clear on their duties and responsibilities, and always stay in control. You will then have competent and loyal people who will grow with you and contribute to the greater good. To just think, never give up, is wrong and may only be good for battles where giving up may mean death. Quite often, the best decision is to disengage and let go, so you can focus on something more beneficial and rewarding, especially in the long term. The 3 goals you should have with a mentor are: 1. Identifying the shortcuts. 2. Leveraging your results. 3. Scaling your business. You should achieve 3 things. Number 1, optimal happiness, high ethics, positive relationships, and goals setting and achieving. Optimal health, good sleep, nutrition, and exercise. And number 3, optimal wealth, having assets, income, and liquidity. All can be achieved with advanced knowledge, timely action, and strategic networking. He or she who does not spend a healthy amount of time trying to 1. Learn more, 2. Do more, 3. Network better will be destroyed by the competition or market changes in a relatively short period of time. Over time, if you put a massive amount of focused effort, your fear, frustrations, and mess-ups ratio should go down, and your results, cash flow, and net worth should go up. Everything is about growth and contribution. Growing your worth based on the added value and contribution you bring to the market. Asking for more money without you first growing professionally and offering more to the market is like asking to fly without having wings. Success comes from learning to deal with the worry, anxiety, and stress that comes from gradually pushing yourself to grow. If you focus too much on protecting yourself from discomfort, eventually you will erode your own capacity to handle pressure. The man who goes to his wife to complain about how tough it is on the outside, meaning at work, is a fool and may soon have it tougher from the inside, at home. Avoid wasting your time with non-decision makers. Those are agents, representatives, middle people, sons or daughters of someone else, etc. Just go to the principals, the boss, the top decision makers, or no face-to-face meetings. You would be wasting your time. You could easily identify true friends not by how they respond to your misfortunes and losses, but how they react to your good news, gains, and advancements. You want them to be excited for you and with you. Your success in any endeavor is in the direct relation to your willingness and ability to apply proper pressure and resistance to it, then dealing strategically with the outcome. Do not despair and close your eyes. Just open them wide and look for deals, for partners, and for opportunities. And if you find none, then create some and have others join you. Beware of promises made in a bar over a few drinks. They seldom materialize. Hence the reason I neither go to bars nor discuss business with people who value booze over business. When you have it within your power to solve a problem and you don't take the necessary steps to do so, you become the problem. Most problems are created by people and solved by people. Work with the right people. Best way to defer taxes is not through 1031 exchange or opportunity zone investing, but through proper entities and structures in the right jurisdictions using the right tax incentives. It seems to me that those who get into politics and become successful politicians over time lose touch with society and disconnect from the very people who elected them. To grow your business, decide which part you should handle directly by learning and doing more of, and which part you should assign to more qualified associates. Great growth and contribution occurs when 80% of the work is handled by better people. That's when true success begins. That which is built on a weak foundation eventually implodes, collapses, and crumbles. This applies to buildings, businesses, and of course, human beings. Everyone falls a few times in life and in business. Those who make the effort to get back up are usually met with a helping hand, and those who don't make the effort are barely given a handout. Our nature is to help those who help themselves and avoid those who don't. Some people bring the best out of you, and some bring the worst. You have the same impact on others. Your success depends on A, getting the best out of others by offering the best out of yourself first. B, identifying if they're worth your best, your worst, or nothing at all. Before you talk to someone, decide on the end goal of the conversation. Are you conveying a message? Trying to reach an agreement? Seeking help? Selling an idea? Know what you're trying to accomplish so you don't waste time and energy aimlessly. A gap exists between people's knowledge of what's good for them, as in happiness, health, and wealth, and the real-world behavior. This is due to their lack of self-discipline, self-control, and misunderstanding of how cause and effect principles work in life. In the business world, I learned that if my production drops, I must go back and reorganize. The rule is simply organize, then produce. Someone with high morale and enthusiasm is willing and able to entertain different viewpoints. Someone with low morale due to fear, sadness, or frustration is unable and unwilling to consider other points of view and gets defensive or offensive about own beliefs and behaviors. People who are under financial pressure are usually pretending to be nicer, more flexible, and more willing than they really are. If you want to judge a person, give them money and power, then over time, observe what they will do, and more importantly, you will discover who they are based on what they will not do. Sometimes the idea is to turn a small knife fight into a war into a nuclear fight, and a nuclear fight into the end of the world. Sadly, however, if the enemy is a cockroach, he may still survive. He who has high self-esteem usually does not have self-compassion. This translates into lack of empathy toward others. Identify those who are so full of themselves that they cannot see others, and avoid them unless you can strategically benefit from their self-inflated ego and their narcissistic attitude, as it clouds their decision-making and ability to decide. The 3 goals you should have with a mentor are: 1. Identifying the shortcuts that you can repeat successfully. 2. Leveraging the results that you got. 3. Scaling the business to the critical mass. Maximize your efficiencies with the 4 Ds. When you grab a piece of paper, when you answer an email, or when you transact with something, decide: should I do it? Should I delay it? Should I delegate it? Or should I destroy it? The 2 things worse than not having money are having neither the drive, goals, nor the ideas, ways to have money. If you are generous to a kind person, he or she becomes grateful, feels indebted to you, and tries to reciprocate. But if you are generous to a malicious person, he or she becomes ungrateful, feels annoyed by you, and tries to retaliate. No matter the endeavor, the rewards gradually accrue to the most resourceful, creative, and hardest working individual. The price customers are willing to pay is a reflection of their perceived value of the product, service, or information they will receive. Convey it properly. When you own a business or any endeavor for profit, there are 4 factors that you need to pay attention to because they're the valid metrics that will guide you. It is the price-cost relationship and the volume-velocity ratio. If you pay too much attention to price without paying attention to the value, you've lost it all. Success is being able to balance nice and agreeable with difficult and disagreeable when dealing with others in a manner that helps you reach your target and your end goal. It's amazing to look back sometimes and see how much one opportunity have changed the course of your life and how that course of life impacted so many other decisions and improved your well-being. Most relationship regrets are based on your failure to consider your loved one's viewpoint at a certain time, simply because you were not paying enough attention to what they were thinking, feeling, saying, or doing to understand it, appreciate it, and adjust to it accordingly. There are 3 ways to become wealthy. 1, to know something others don't know. 2, to be able to act on it in ways they cannot act. And 3, to make it through a large network of allies with whom you can exchange value to maximize the profit and minimize the downside. True success comes from how you handle what you don't know, not from how you handle what you know. You must rely then on the right people to get the job done. How you select, direct, and support the right people will help everyone grow together or will destroy the organization if not done correctly. A wealth of information creates a poverty of attention. Learn to focus on priorities and finish what you start based on a reasonably tight schedule. Distractions will cause you to succumb to mediocrity under constant time pressure, leading nowhere. A phenomenon occurs to many people who suddenly realize they're more secure financially. They become arrogant towards whatever disturbs them instead of remaining diplomatic and tactful. This change of attitude often causes them the loss of some old but valuable relationships. If you show humility and vulnerability by revealing your feelings during negotiations, it may help you build credibility and may even get the other side to be more open, empathetic, and a bit more flexible. It takes a while to blend with someone that complements you and adds value to you, so you can shed the unimportant and focus on worthy goals that help you both. This requires self-growth during the struggle and conquest phase and selfless contribution during the reward and achievement phase. In the beginning, often people underestimate their ability to grow to meet the requirement of certain tasks. Later on, they often overvalue their contribution to those tasks. A good balance of constant growth and contribution is a must for anyone's survival. The purpose of life for some people may be to pursue a cause so powerful and meaningful to them that they meet the vicissitudes of life with equanimity. You are in trouble usually to the exact degree of your cowardice. If you do your due diligence, it's hard to lose money in real estate. Bees live in hives. Humans live in tribes. You, as a human being, however, can create your own tribe or move to a different one. Belonging and connecting is our superpower that can help us succeed. Every job has three parts: the routine and repetitive, the creative and exciting, the tedious and frustrating. Those who cannot handle the three parts with discipline and reliability will find themselves running from one job to another without getting anywhere in life. You have a lot of potential, and as you continue to grow your worth, you'll add value to yourself and others and will discover even more opportunities. People don't learn much from their mistakes because they usually want to blame others. They learn less from other people's mistakes because they're not emotionally connected to the experience. Best way to learn is to study, practice, and network till you master the principles of success. The distance between where you are and where you want to be financially is not measured by how many years, but by how many deals. Learn to think, act simultaneously, not sequentially, and get more done daily, so you will pull the future closer to you all the way to the here and now. Chaos in business offers a creative entrepreneur a world of possibilities and opportunities based on his/her resources and resourcefulness. Instead of asking why several times to get to the source of any problem, you may want to ask who, as you will nip it in the bud, because problems start with people and are solved with people. In any family, the value of its members is in direct relation to the time, care, attention, affection, and admiration they give one another. They must set the right examples and enforce ethics on one another to grow together by helping each other to contribute to the greater good. Same occurs for a group, country, and the world. You are the source of the world you create, so be truthful with yourself. Stop thinking of excuses to blame others or circumstances about any of your bad relationships. Just focus on making things better through positive communication with yourself and others, and the magic will happen. The more you grow with focus and velocity, the more impactful your contribution is to others, and the more fun you will have, and the more money you will make. Most people are willing to grow, but are unable to focus on building momentum. Whatever you take full responsibility for, you will not only know, but will also control over a relatively short period of time. The exchange of truth may be painful at first, but it is curative and will lead to a better outcome. Knowledge and truth are in you. So are power and magic. But if you do not express them to the world and cause great things to happen, you will be made effect to other people's willpower and drive, or lack of power and laziness. Your relationships with yourself and with others are working to the degree that they are guided by the principles of sharing the truth, even if it makes you weak and vulnerable. When you tell the truth openly and respectfully, whatever happens next is the best outcome that could happen. no matter how dramatic the situation may seem, especially right after truth is told or revealed. Best way to deal with a hesitant buyer is to say that you have other offers and will review all by end of week. They will quickly present their best and final price offer, or will simply walk away. Either way, you will save a lot of time and unnecessary hassle. In any company, individuals are as valuable as they offer value. It is that simple. Value in providing a service and helping others internally and externally in a friendly, accurate, complete, timely, and strategic manner. Strategic here means safely, ethically, and profitably. The value of an individual is neither in his/her net worth, nor is it in their self-worth. It is rather in their interest, willingness, and ability to help other reasonable people to reach for their potential. You are in trouble in any area of your life to the exact degree of your cowardice in that particular area. If you want to know how brave you are, figure out how open and vulnerable you are willing to be. We all care a lot about what people whom we care for and respect think of us. And we should all remember to care less about what other people whom we neither care for nor respect think of us. An individual's greatest failure is in his or her unfulfilled potential. If you do not know how to appeal to another person's self-interest when asking for something, then prepare to be rejected and ignored. There is nothing worse than going to someone seeking help and refuge, but instead all you get is exploitation and abuse. On top of self-actualization in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, there may be the need to show off and elicit envy and jealousy from others. After all, it's what makes the world go around and pushes social media to its extreme. Wealth could be measured not by how much you have, but by the gap between how much you have and how much more you would like to have. If you want to write a story and cannot start it, think of how you want to end it. And voila, starting the story will become super easy, so the flow of it will happen. Those who use others are usually the ones most upset when someone uses them. The majority of people go to their grave doing something they did not like. So do what you love and you will win. And doing that while helping others and making money, you won even more because many people around you will win as well. Some men exaggerate their toughness and work distress when speaking to their spouses to gain more attention, proximity, and intimacy. It is a whole different level of disguised insecurity, and most empathetic wives fall for it. Take time to the end of each day to reflect, correct, adjust, and improve. This will give you a better understanding of yourself, others, and the business at hand. To find the real source of any problem, business or personal, don't just ask why several times, but also seek who is behind the problems a few times. At the end, you are the responsible party, and the sooner you admit it to yourself, the faster you will recover. In any argument or conversation, there are three choices to deal with others. Number one, you agree on all what you can, adjust and enhance the relationship. Number two, you avoid disagreements, ignore and disconnect from them and any negativity. Or number three, you attack and confront the issues and offer zero flexibility and no compromises. Agree, avoid, or attack. It's up to you on whatever is most effective and efficient for the situation. Whatever happens to you is what you created, invited, allowed, and accepted. Whatever happens for you is what you focused on, forged, labored, demanded, and acquired. Whatever happens to you is what you created, invited, allowed, and accepted. Whatever happens for you is what you focused on, forged, labored, demanded, and acquired. Sadly, quite often in life, you don't realize until it's too late that the most beautiful and impactful moments are those you spend with your loved ones in a sweet, simple, and ordinary manner. If you feel you're the least favorite in a holiday gathering, try to connect with others. Show sincere interest. Listen well. Be kind and helpful. Find reasons to like and admire others. Soon you will really start to like them and they will love you and favor you more than expected. Teach your spouse and others, especially loved ones, how to treat you and how to be when they are with you. Do it patiently, clearly and calmly, no rush. And while at it, learn how they want to be treated. Common denominators: open, supportive, respectful, forgiving, and fun. When you are with someone, ask yourself, are they ethical, responsible, intelligent, and adding or exchanging value with me? Do they make me feel better? Are they truthful? Is there potential to grow, contribute, and have fun? If not, cut or limit your exposure, even if they're a relative. Some kids are taught that their lives are governed not by their actions, but by some socioeconomic forces or social discrimination. This leads to their frustration, hate, and despair. Teach them instead their ancestors' history of triumph, and they will be inspired to achieve more.